On this edition of Beyond the Bean on Air, we'll look at the United Soybean Board's efforts to improve our rivers, roads, railways, and other important modes of transportation used to getting your newly planted soybeans to your customers. But first, a quick glimpse of how your checkoff dollars work for you. Your soy checkoff wants to get more results of production research into the hands of all U.S. soybean farmers. The program works with land-grant universities on such things as state-specific pest and disease guides, email alerts when they reach specific thresholds, and video segments on TV shows that can demonstrate how to protect and increase your soybean yields. USB plans to partner with 19 state soy checkoff boards on what is referred to as Soybean Research Tech Transfer. USB Chair and North Dakota farmer Vanessa Coomer recently participated in the National Association of Farm Broadcasting's annual Washington Watch Conference. USB highlighted the importance of its long-range plan, in particular, creating partnerships that differentiate and increase the utilization of U.S. soy. During this conference, USB co-sponsored a field trip and panel discussions on a farm near the Chesapeake Bay. USB Director and Maryland farmer Gino Lowe joined other crop and poultry farmers to describe conservation practices they use to protect water quality and make their operations sustainable. Using barges on U.S. waterways proves to be the most efficient means for transporting U.S. soy. But a new study shows river transportation could be a ticking time bomb for agriculture.
A study funded by the Soy Checkoff shows crumbling locks and dams on some major U.S. rivers could cause severe economic distress if one of them fails. Built mostly during the Great Depression, the study found that more than half of the structures that allow barge shipping on U.S. rivers have well exceeded their usable lifespan. For example, broken down locks on the Ohio River alone more than tripled shipping delays since 2000. A river lock failure forces use of alternate shipping means, which adds tens of millions of dollars to transport costs, forcing more food, feed, fiber, and fuel on highways and railways.
Barge is the cheapest way to transport. So if we don't have the entire system being vibrant, then we're not going to have the infrastructure to make sure that what we raise can go for our country and to help with the feeding the world and exports.
The Soy Checkoff wants to prove the need for more public and private investment in transportation infrastructure.
We want to make sure that they have the correct information so that we're making those decisions. Because if we don't have a vibrant transportation system, we're in big trouble with our agricultural economy and for our other parts of the U.S.
The Soy Checkoff also has commissioned an additional study to examine alternative methods to fund improvements needed to ensure farmers have the infrastructure to operate. For Beyond the Bean on Air, I'm Rebecca Stephen.
The transportation priority issue highlights the need for additional public and private investment in river locks, ports, railroads, and other modes of U.S. transportation. Here's a look at some recent findings.
A Soy Checkoff-funded study found that America's aging transportation system costs the national economy $129 billion each year. Yet it still could soon put U.S. agriculture at a disadvantage in the competition to meet increasing global demand. The study predicts that stress on our transportation infrastructure will only increase as global demand grows. It shows investing in overall infrastructure could save U.S. soy and grain sectors nearly $1.3 billion every year. Figures like these demonstrate the potential economic returns resulting from infrastructure improvements.
As we grow more products, increase distances, we have to look at the structure that was put in place and how we can improve that, make it better, make it more efficient. Basically, the transportation system has been in place in the United States and, for that matter, around the world for several years.
I'm Mike Orso reporting for Beyond the Bean on Air.
Railroads play a vital role in transporting your soy to your customers. A new USB study will look at ways to spur railroad improvements.
U.S. railroads move 24% of U.S. soybeans, 43% of all soy meal, and 67% of soy oil. Unlike taxpayer-funded improvements to roads, bridges, and other structures, railroads pay for and own their own rail lines. These companies invest billions of dollars annually to maintain the railways.
Railroads are investing capital. About 17% of our revenue dollar goes into capital investment, and we're investing capital into our systems to provide efficient and effective transportation. And as railroads look out into the future, we do see a lot of growth potentially that could occur.
But predictions show that this private investment will not be able to keep up with the cost of maintaining railways. It's estimated that railroad companies could have a shortfall of $40 billion in funding by 2035. The Soy Checkoff recently funded a project to examine a tax credit to encourage investment in U.S. railways. I'm John Butler, reporting for Beyond the Bean On Air.
That's our report for this time. We hope you had or are having a successful planting season. Thanks for watching Beyond the Bean On Air, and we'll see you again next time.